Silicon Valley Bank has collapsed today. They're calling it the second biggest bank collapse in U.S. history, the most significant one since 2008. There's a lot to talk about there, but before we get into that, make sure you like and subscribe here, turn the notifications on, share around if you're feeling generous. All my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, Caleb Salvatore Comedy on TikTok. My show That's Based with Caleb Salvatore drops in an hour and 40 minutes, hour and a half, I guess. OutlawStreamers.com. It's on Rumble, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. All the links are down in the description. Again, That's Based with Caleb Salvatore. Drops every Saturday, usually a little after midnight. So, wow, we've got a lot going on here. This is Silicon Valley Bank collapsed. And right after Jim Cramer from CNBC told everyone to go invest in it, mind you. Listen, now I want to start this off. I am not a financial advisor. I am not a licensed financial advisor. I'm not advising you on how to lend, how to invest your money or how to spend it or how not to spend it. If you are listening to me on how to invest your money, you're a dumbass. I just want to put that out there right now. That this is my opinion on world events. I'm not telling you how to spend your money, how to invest it or whatever, because I don't want to get sued. Because I can't afford to get sued, which is another reason why you shouldn't listen to me on how to invest your money. So Silicon Valley Bank collapse. Obviously, FDIC insurance gives you $250,000 per signer on each account. Now, that makes things a little fishy for some companies because they have a little bit more in there. So, I mean, you've got companies with millions of dollars that just got destroyed, just got ruined. These, you're SOL, man. You put a lot of faith into these banks, and you got to have because you can't just have millions of dollars in your mattress, right? We've seen how volatile crypto is. I wouldn't be a big fan of putting all that money in crypto. So you've got to have some type of bank to put it in, and you trust these banks, and you see this happen, and it's like, what do you do? What do you even do here? This is going to be a huge strain on the economy because the FDIC's got to pay out all the customers. So that's going to add to inflation even more. If you really think about it, though, the more you look into this Silicon Valley Bank, right, the more you realize a lot of their assets were tied up into big tech. They've been talking about a big tech bubble for a while. So you see this. Hopefully this isn't a ripple effect of things to come, but I've got a feeling you're going to start to see some tech companies really go under. Like if there were tech companies that were maybe just not the Apples and the Googles, obviously, but the tech companies that were just barely hanging on, they just lost millions of dollars. They're done. Those guys are out. Like there's no recovering from that if you're just barely hanging on. And I've been skeptical. And Silicon Valley Bank's not necessarily the same thing. You've got customers lined up that may or may not have just lost their life savings. They can't figure it out. I don't know. Are you going to trust the government? It's FDIC insured, sure, but do you trust the government to give you your money back? That's what it boils down to. So people don't know. People's entire life is in limbo right now. And it really just goes to show, like I've been saying, you don't realize how fragile this entire system, when it's working, it works great. But you don't realize how fragile this system is in this world that we live in until you see something like this. And not even this extreme. We talk about it all the time on That's Based. If you think, like, COVID, the riots over 2020, all of the supply chain shortages, all of those things should have shown you how fragile this system we have is. This is another perfect example. I'm a millennial, right? I watched my parents lose their jobs in the recession and all that. I get it. I've seen all of it. I know how it all works. So I prepare a little bit. I stick a little bit away. Again, I'm not a millionaire or anything like that, but it'd be okay, if it all came crashing down tomorrow. So, and not even... Like, you shouldn't even be just prepared financially. You should be prepared. Again, COVID was a perfect example. What if you couldn't leave your house for 2 weeks? Not even for a virus, just for whatever reason. What if you couldn't leave your house for 2 weeks? Do you have enough food in there right now to last you 2 weeks, your family 2 weeks? Do you have any alternative sources of heat? Anything like that. I don't want to turn this into a doomsday prepper thing, and it's not really a doomsday prepper thing. It's just about being prepared for bad situations, because bad situations happen all the time, and we always think, oh, it can't happen to me, until it does. You think Silicon Valley Bank's customers thought that it couldn't happen to them? Probably most of them, if not all of them, and then it happened to them, and a lot of them out their life savings. It's a bad look, man. It's a bad rap. Not a good day for a lot of people. really hope it doesn't have a ripple effect because I don't think we need, like, that's the last thing we need is a bunch of banks going down. If you look at, like, the fintech, like, that's the new thing is these online banks, which I'm kind of skeptical of. I've had loans through them and stuff, and the big allure to these online banks is that they can offer lower interest rates because they don't have branches. So they can give you a lower car rate, help you refinance your student loans, whatever it is you got to do, because they don't have branches. So they don't have to pay for all that overhead. Well, that's great, but what are we going to do now when the majority of their business is based around loans and the Fed keeps hiking the rates and less people are spending money? People are going to stop buying houses at the same rate they were. People are going to stop buying cars. They already are. It's a huge automobile shortage. So I'm worried that we could see a ripple effect through those types of, I mean, it's like Ally Bank, SoFi, places like that. I'm worried that we could see some type of ripple effect, and that's going to be disastrous for the economy. Again, not an economist. I observe things, I watch. But it's like I said, man, you should be prepared for bad situations, be they financial, natural disasters, anything. Terrorist attack, not to like, the war drums are pumping with Russia every day, man. Nuclear attacks, anything like that. The analogy I always like to make is you see people kill each other over tennis shoes at the mall because they got the last one in their size. What do you think people are going to do when the food runs out? What do you think people are going to do when they got to wait in line at bread lines and someone gets the last piece of bread because the supply chain crumbled? You see how fragile it is? Pete Buttigieg himself said it. 1,000 trains derail a year. What do you think people are going to do? They're going to let their customers get their money out Monday. That's when the FDIC is going to start issuing checks or whatever. What do you think Monday's going to be like? I would not want to have an account at Silicon Valley Bank on Monday because that's going to get nasty. I would be a little frightened right now if my money was there. I don't have an account there, and I'm a little frightened. It's like, what's next? What's next? And I don't know, man. We know Joe Biden doesn't care. We know his cronies don't care. They don't care anything about us. You can piss off and lose all your money for all they care. It'd probably be better for them because they have a direct incentive to enslave us. So I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. You think this is an isolated incident, or are we going to see a ripple effect and more banks are going to crash? How far do you think it'll go? Do you think it'll be 2008, or do you think it'll just be minor recession? Either way, it's a little spooky right now. It's a little spooky out there right now. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, turn the notifications on, share around if you're feeling generous. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, Caleb Salvatore Comedy on TikTok. You can check my show out. That's Based with Caleb Salvatore, outlawstreamers.com. It's not just my show. It's Chris Baker's show, Tim Davis with Freedom Rally USA. It's on Rumble, Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. We can't post full episodes to YouTube. You go watch it. You'll see why. We do have clips of it every single day at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. It gets posted to my YouTube channel here. You go check those out, and you'll get a taste of what the show is like. A little bit more censored. But my thing is, it's like I always say, man, if you want to win the game, you got to be on the field. And right now, YouTube's the biggest field. So we got to be on it. I got to have clips on it, and I unfortunately got to play by their rules. I can't get yeeted off the platform yet. I do have a Rumble account, though. It's at Caleb Salvatore. You can check me out there if you prefer that. Some of you might be watching this on there because it auto-uploads. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Cheat on your taxes, not your spouse. Peace out, and stay based.